Hey guys, what's the definition of necrophilia?
Oh no, don't go there.
Afraid
When
to
you
ask.
crack open a cold one.
Oh,
Oh, that's
oh.
Oh my God. That was
alcoholics are gonna
horrible.
find that funny.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Talking about cracking up a cold one. Good afternoon and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. We're here every Friday and all during the week, but our show drops on Friday on any place you get your podcast. And we got a great show for you today. We have the one and only Mike Grief.
Hold on, I'm gonna crack open a cold one here.
And we got the highest paid guy in the show, the cook extraordinaire, the guy behind the cooking show and does all the stuff, the highest paid guy in the show, comedian Craig Mitchell.
I'm not wearing any underwear.
Nice.
We don't want
nice.
to crack that open.
I just threw up in the back of my mouth.
Yeah, I just threw up in the front and the back of my mouth.
Please, you're turning me on.
Wait, hold on. My dog just threw up and he didn't even fucking hear it. Holy shit.
Dogs have that.
Homophobia is in the air.
Ooh, the bell sounds.
Has nothing to do with
Your bell
homophobia.
threw up.
My bell threw up.
Has nothing to do with homophobia.
So I read this story that I think that I gotta get my face on the thing. I read this story that's not like kind of what we do, but I think this is a really cool story. Except
John,
the
have you-
kid's
have you
name
been
bothers
reading
me.
again. What did I tell you about reading?
The most deserved belt in history was given to Bridget Walker, the little boy. His name is Bridget?
Bridget.
That
boy's
doesn't
name?
sound like a little boy's name.
Yeah, it says the most deserved belt in history was given to Bridget Walker,
Bridget.
the
Isn't
little
that-
boy.
A little bridge.
The little boy who saved his little sister from a German shepherd. He had 90 stitches all over his body, but saved his 3-year-old sister from certain death.
Wow.
And had said, if anyone has to die, it should be me. I'm her big brother.
Wow.
The
That's
World
amazing.
Boxing Council, ready for this?
Yeah.
Has recognized him as a full-time world champion and official WBC historical record for being the best fighter in the world to the day. Total respect, and they give him a belt.
Wow. That's incredible. But I
Isn't
think
that
Craig
cool?
may be right. It's like I think it's a very touching story, but I think Craig's right. I think maybe we should stick to comedy.
Come on, that's a great story. I actually got tears in my eyes when I read that.
No, it's a great story. I mean, shit, it's like the kid saved his sister, and to say something like so self-sacrificing, like if anyone should die, it should be me. You know, I mean that it's it's
I think he was
beautiful
hanging out with
sentiment.
Tommy Chong.
He got into his dad's edibles. That's a great story. Listen, you know what? The true German Shepherd's a dangerous dog.
I totally get why he wanted to die. I mean, if I was named Bridget, I think I'd probably dive into a dog too.
No, I'm not going to make fun of a little boy who saved his sister, but
Bridget.
you know, I mean that's honorable. That's nice, but now I'm fucking depressed, and the rest of the show's going to suck.
Why are you
Okay.
depressed? It's a feel-good story. He
Oh,
saved
hold on,
his sister.
hold on. I got to take some of my Tommy Chong
I have to
fucking
look
mood
it up right
uplifting.
now and see if
fucking
it is
The only
right
way
there.
that Bridget is a boy's name is if
I'm
he
looking
actually
it up
builds.
right now.
The only way that Bridget is a boy's name if he goes out and builds bridges. Then it
Little
would make
bridges,
sense. It's Bridget.
Bridget.
Hey, it's
Little
Bridget.
bridges.
It's Bridget. Not Bridget is like a female Smurf. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Bridget. You know, no.
All right. So now wait. Let's talk. Now
Bridget,
let's
Bridget, or Bridget.
hold on. I
Female
want to talk
name
about
derived from the
suicide now.
noun bri, meaning power and strength.
Power and
Is Bridget
yeah,
a
well,
unisex name?
It is
Plural
not.
male- Bridget is a powerful feminine name for a Gaelic origin.
Okay, I believe that. But it's not a unisex name.
well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Who gives a
Like
shit?
Jamie.
Listen,
Okay, here we
You know
go.
what?
Bridget,
Unisex.
baby boy naming meaning origin.
Yeah.
It's actually becoming a big name now.
I'm really glad this is what we pulled out of the story. This is what we're fucking concentrating on, the kid's name, not the fact that he fucking
Well, I'm
saved his
sorry.
kid.
It's-
Got
Well,
these
you were the
stitches.
one that brought up. You were the
Got
one that
his
brought up.
fucking
It's a
face
screwed up
screwed up.
name.
It's
You
not
were
a
the one that
screwed
brought
up
up the
name.
story that the little kid saves his sister, gets a medal from the boxing. You go, it's a
Yeah, because
depressing story.
because now I want to cut my fucking wrists open now. And
Okay, I got a story for you that I read. I saw this on TikTok. This little girl. There's a brother and sister, and the sister gets really injured, and she needs a blood transfusion, and she has a very rare blood type. And so the doctor realizes that the twin brother, has the same blood type. So he goes up to the brother and goes, listen, we need to transfer blood from you to your sister. It's a matter of life and death. But we know you have to want to do it. And the kid just goes, takes a big sigh and goes, I'll do it. But can I say goodbye to my parents first? He goes, what do you mean say goodbye? He goes, well, if I'm going to die, I want to say goodbye. He goes, no, you're not going to die. It's going to save her life. The kid was going to give the blood even though he thought he was going to die. Now that's a Bridget right
It
there.
would have been a better story if he said no, but I'll sell it to her.
All right, God. I'm gonna do the rest of the show in like a monotone now because fucking Jesus Christ, what the fuck did
Yeah,
you guys
do that.
smoke this morning?
You do that.
Hold on,
It's a feel-good
tell
story.
this-
Don't you have
Let
a
me tell
feel-good
the
story?
story about the kid that got fucking caught in the helicopter fucking blades. All right.
Well, we're going to be
Jesus
talking
Christ.
about an assassination the whole show, so why not?
And he was heads and shoulders above his friends.
Fuck, man. I just want everyone out there listening
you probably
to know
have a
that
happy story about a guy that you beat the crap
I'm
out of.
Mike. I didn't bring up the depressing fucking kids getting chewed up by dogs thing. That's
No,
okay.
but maybe you should bring a happy story about how you beat the shit out of somebody and you let them live.
Well,
That's
a
a
happy ending.
feel-good story, Mike.
It is a feel good story. You know, I listen, and it happens to be true. You know, there are a couple of times when I came close to ending somebody's fucking helping somebody shake the mortal coil, but you know,
What is that new expression they say? Now it's like all
unaliving,
over.
unaliving.
Unaliving. What
Because
the
you
fuck is
can't
that
say
all about?
because on the internet or on TikTok and all these things, you can't say kill. There's certain phrases that'll get you banned or get you whatever.
That's the
so
stupidest thing I've ever
I know,
heard
like
in my
it
life.
means something so totally different. I'm gonna unalive, you know.
Unalive.
I remember
It's
back in the
not
day with a
proper
wiffle.
grammar. It's not proper grammar.
Back in
I'm
the
gonna
day with a
unalive.
wiffle ball bat, I unalived a whole lot of fireflies.
John's way about proper grammar. I love. I'm still crying about the little fucking kid with his fucking face chewed up from a
Don't
German
make fun
Shepherd.
of Bridget.
Bridget's our hero.
Like a bridge.
How about the guys putting his name on the belt going, you sure you got this right? The boy?
Bridget? Yeah.
Imagine him riding his bike with that little license plate. Oh, he stole that bike, didn't he?
Well, what names? There were a lot of names that are like universal that you could be for a boy or a girl.
Jamie.
Bridget isn't one of them, but you know.
Jamie,
Go ahead, let's see how many you can name. Jamie,
Chris,
Chris, could be
Frankie,
Christopher or Christine.
Frankie.
Gene.
I know. I'm not kidding because I have a friend who has a daughter named Frankie. So it's but I don't know, and I don't know any others. But
Gene.
Well,
Craig.
Frankie and Johnny were lovers. Frankie
Craig.
and Johnny were lovers.
We know a chick
That was
named
a
Craig.
song.
We got Craig.
You got a chick named Craig?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gene,
Poetry.
Dakota.
No, I never heard of a
That's
boy.
Oh,
not
yeah,
even
I
a real
have.
name. That's not even a real name. That's a stupid name.
If you name your kid Dakota,
not
do you
even
name
really-
him like
yeah, if
South
you-
Dakota or North Dakota?
If you ain't named your kid Dakota, you smoke too much weed.
I know you.
It's
you
like
lost it.
that's like, oh, my name is Summer.
I'm a
Shut up.
cowboy. I named my kid Dakota. Come on, let's ride,
Shut
Dakota.
up, Summer.
Summer is
Autumn.
summer.
Summer, autumn. You never hear a kid named Winter. Why is it
No,
always
that's-
summer and autumn or fall? Fall, the
Another
clumsy
name,
kid.
Pat.
That's my son, the clumsy one. His name is Fall.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Pat's
listen,
another
you know what?
another name. Pat.
Thank God that my first wife, when my son was born, had more common sense than me. Because like I was gonna give him some fucking weird. I wanted to, being I was gonna name him like Farnsworth or something like that. Put him.
What's Farnsworth?
Because you know what? With a
Farnsworth
name,
beef?
it's like a boy named Sue. You have a name like Farnsworth, you have to grow up tough as a motherfucker because you're gonna fight every day.
Have you? Okay.
Actually, I wanted to name him. Actually, I wanted to
Let's
name him
think of Mike and
Slade.
think of him as having a kid named Farnsworth.
Actually, I wanted to name him Slade. Slade. I looked it up. It's
Slade.
like it dweller in the valley. And she looked at me. She goes, "You're fucking insane." I'm like, "Yeah, now you got it." Slade. I thought, how cool is that name, Slade?
So in my family, I have an Uncle Frank
Yeah,
Me
who has
too.
a son Frank
right.
who has
What's about
a
it? Did
son,
they run out of
who has
fucking
a
names?
son who has a son Frank.
Jesus Christ. They ran out of names. What are we gonna name the guy? Okay, how about a Frank? No, Frank.
And they always make fun of me because my dad's name was Joseph John and I'm John Joseph. They go, it's the same thing. I go, no, I have a different name. It's not the same. And they always got to go, Frank, Big Frank, Middle Frank, in between Frank. It's
Ballpark Frank.
Well, it's better than my real name. My real name isn't Mike. My father named me Fuckface. That's what he called Fuckface. Hey, Fuckface, go ahead, change the channel, Fuckface. Get me a fucking beer, Fuckface. Hey, Fuckface, I'm talking to you. Did you take
Did
the
he
garbage
really
out,
call you that?
Fuckface? Oh my!
Do you know I
You know,
never heard
today
my father? Do you know I never heard my father say a 4-letter word in my entire life?
Really?
Me too.
My father said nothing
Maybe
but
shit.
forward. Well, my father was a warehouse manager, and I worked for him for years. And
Right.
it's like he was just like, oh, he came down on me more than anyone else. But
Oh, I imagine.
oh yeah, it's like, what do you? I mean, he just loved. I think he enjoyed embarrassing me in front of people. I don't know.
He had
just-
to. You're the son. You had to be harder on you.
That was it, because he thought that it would show other that he was favoring me. If he didn't treat me worse than everyone else, he was favoring me. So he would just abuse the shit out of
So
me.
when you guys were growing up and you got in trouble, did you go to your mother or your father?
Neither
Mother.
one, they were both fucking insane. I was afraid of both of them.
I would go to my mother.
Yeah,
My father
I was a skirt grabber.
My father would call my mother Perry Mason. He'd go, all right, let's hear your side of the story, Perry Mason.
I'll tell
She's
you
the
that-
biggest defender in the world of you.
I never went to either one of them, man. I'd let them. They'd have to find out what I did on their own, and then they'd be like, "Did you do that?" And I'd be like, well, "You know, just fucking."
I'll tell you a
deny
funny
everything.
story. I was the first born boy in our family, so I was like the prodigal son because my grandfather was pretty wealthy, had 3 girls, so there was never a boy in the family. So I was like the chosen one.
The chosen.
And my mother, she was so excited to have a baby. So my baby book is like 5 inches thick, right? And it goes his first words, his first steps, the date,
Wow.
like every single thing about my life is documented in that book. And my
Yeah.
sister, who's 2 years younger than me, hers is like maybe 20% of mine. And my youngest sister is 10 years old. It just has her name on it.
You got.
Oh,
At
God.
least you had a
There's
baby
nothing
book. We
in
had
it.
nothing. The only thing I ever remember, and this is no bullshit, no exaggeration. I remember my mother had our baby shoes bronze. Do you remember that? They would do
Your
that to baby
baby was
shoes.
Yeah.
bronze?
Yep.
Not my
Yep, yep.
baby, my baby shoes. Fucking-
I was still in them though. That was the problem.
That's it. They get Craig into the fucking bronze with. I don't know why would you bronze. Look, oh, John's pulling out the bronze baby shoes. See, we're an audio podcast, John.
But it's not-
You
it's
guys
not-
can't see. Holding up your fucking bronze baby shoes.
They're not mine. I bought them at a thrift store.
He
I mean,
bought, he bought
that's
some other
probably
kids.
dead baby shoes. Well, come on.
He bought some other kids bronze
Look
baby
at
shoes.
you. I know that we're on video podcast, but I gotta shut this off. You have to see what year are these?
They
what
gotta
year are
you know,
these
when,
from,
when did
Mark?
when did they stop doing that? I don't know, but that's all I
It would
remember.
be- it would be really creepy
Yeah,
if
those
inside
are-
the name said Bridget. Wouldn't that be creepy?
Yeah,
What?
Well, it
what
was like
year are
I
these-
said,
What year are
they-
these from?
they're probably from the '60s. I don't remember them doing it after a certain time. I mean, you know,
Or earlier. They did
that's
it
all I
early.
remember. There were no. We didn't have baby books. We didn't have none of that. Because honestly, I think my parents were stressed out and didn't really give that much of a shit.
Wow. Well,
When they saw Mike, they were like, "Fucking, we made a mistake."
The podcast playground. Hooray!
little things
Wow,
happen.
this one's-
Little
this
things
one's
happen
gotta-
when you're a kid. That like okay, before I was born, my parents my mother was told she could never have another kid, and so they got a foster kid, this little red-haired kid named Craig. They loved this kid, but of course, after a while, they had to give him back into the system.
So when you were born, did they kill him?
No, we got back into the system.
Oh, all right.
And so what happened was my mother got miraculously pregnant with me when I was born. They named me Craig. So essentially, I was born a fucking rerun.
So wait, you were a
So-
miraculous conception?
Well, yeah, because she wasn't supposed to be able to conceive naturally. Yeah, she was. My
Right.
brother and sister were artificially inseminated by the milkman. No,
Hey,
but so that wasn't supposed to happen. So I was the miracle son. So what they do? They named me after this little red-haired kid. I have a picture of him somewhere.
they named you after little Craig. So you're not even an
I'm Craig
original.
the second.
You're fucking not even an
A
original. Look
screwdriver
at
that
just,
fucking
that.
thing.
the
I hate that.
screwdriver just fell out of one of the shoes.
Look at that.
That's
So
Bridget's.
it's a
Put it
bonus.
back. That's Bridget's.
That's-
He's going to
you
build a
gotta-
bridge with it.
Now you got to go back to the thrift store and tell them, listen, there was a screwdriver in here. I want to pay for it. No, it's like, See, I'm a big thrift store guy. Me and John knows that. We stopped when I visited John, and we hit a thrift store. I love thrift store. I don't know why. I just love looking at old stuff, and
Oh yeah, it's fun, man.
It's true what they say. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. I find the coolest friggin' things in thrift stores.
I'm too tempted to buy everything, like old answering machines and VCRs, because I for some reason I want them. I love it.
I just bought a brand new Panasonic VCR in a box.
Brand new.
All brand new. Never opened the box.
So it's old though.
Yeah,
The question is why? Why would you want old? See, that's
because
what I don't understand.
Because
I
think I have a lot of old videos.
Right.
That I want to go through, like with my kids and stuff when they were little.
You should check and see if they're any good. Though videos degrade.
Yeah,
over
but
time.
before I start sending them off to have them digitized, I want to know if there's anything on there.
I have a friend in Florida who can do that for you too.
Oh yeah,
I do.
I used to have.
What a good dad.
I used to have a VCR with a DVD burner, and when I was married, my wife, when I went away, took all of my TV things and burned them all to DVD.
I have one of you, John. You can get one of those on Amazon for like $20. What? I have one. I have one because I had a tape that I wanted to put onto a DVD, and I think I went on Amazon. I think I paid $25 for one.
For a
DVD burner?
It'll burn from Go look. Well, maybe that one was a little.
No, I had one too.
A DVD player, but maybe they're $40. They're cheap. They
Mine was $300 when I bought it.
Yeah, well, when all this equipment came, what was a Betamax was fucking $5,000 when it came out.
Well, I had a VCR. This is pretty interesting. I had a VCR when they first came out, and it was the size of a small coffee table.
Yeah.
And it was top loaded, and it was push button like a cassette player.
I remember those.
And I used to pay $27 for a blank videotape.
That's a lot of money.
Wow.
That's how much they were. I mean, that's what they cost.
No, what you do is you buy a porn tape and then you just tape over it after you're done.
And so originally these tape decks were actually those 3/4-inch decks that they converted to 1/2-inch.
Yep.
And I think I bought this used for like $850.
Wow.
But I got some amazing videos. I have the Kennedy assassination. I mean, not the Kennedy assassination.
Kennedy assassination.
I have the John.
His name is John Zagruda.
John Zagruda Ferrantino.
I have the John Lennon assassination from when it happened on the news. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden they went, John Lennon was just shot. I just hit record. And I got
what a day. I still remember that day. I remember fucking everyone crying and going down to the Dakotas and laying flowers.
I learned about John Lennon's assassination from Howard Cosell.
Wow.
This is
almost the happiest story as Bridget. This is really, we're really going for
this. This is Howard Cosell.
I wonder if Bridget knew John Lennon.
Have you ever heard, speaking of Howard Cosell, this is funny. Have you ever heard there's an audio tape of Frank Sinatra at Madison Square Garden?
This is Howard Cosell.
He does the intro.
Right.
And it goes on literally for 17 minutes where the band starts drowning out. He's going like this. He's going, this is Howard Cosell here at the Madison Square Garden, a theater where so many heartbreaks and so many victories have occurred. Muhammad Ali has fought in this building.
Muhammad Ali.
He's going on and on and on. He goes, why, there's movie stars here. Look at there. There's Carol Channing. How you doing, Dolly?
You sound more like what's his name from the Rich and the Fan. This is
Robert Light. You won't believe what's happening at Madison Square Garden.
But he goes
what's
on.
That guy's name from the Rich and Famous?
Robin Leach.
I'm Robin Leach, and welcome to Lifestyles of the Poor and Insignificant.
He's just going on and on and on, and he's going, here he comes the man, and he's going through this whole big thing about Sinatra, and finally the band just goes, fuck it, and they just start playing to drown him out, and he's still talking. You gotta hear it. It's comedy at its best.
Yeah.
Literally, the intro goes on for 12 minutes.
But Howard Cosell is one of the best internet memes ever. It's him with O.J. Simpson on one side of him and Bruce Jenner on the other side. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, I just look 40 years in the future, and you're not going to believe this shit. I love it. I fucking love it.
Oh, man.
I read in the paper that there's a bar in Texas.
I don't believe it. A bar
Bruce
in Texas?
Jenner's pictures before and after as the things on the stalls.
Well, let's be honest. Would you
That's
ever
great.
expected fucking Bruce Jenner, an Olympic, whatever, the guy from the Wheaties package and shit? Now you look at him today, and I get it, whatever, just and that's cool, but
She's her true self now. That's fine.
Whatever. That's one ugly fucking woman. That is fucking ugly.
They don't do it to be pretty. It's that's who she really is.
Yeah, well,
she's really fucking ugly. That's who she really is really fucking ugly.
I mean, I know that we get in trouble for talking like this, but man,
why you can't say that fucking?
We're gonna be canceled. We're gonna be labeled as transphobic now.
No, we're not transphobic at all.
You know what? I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm fucking. It's like, you know what? Who gives a shit? It's like we happen to all be allies of the fucking of the gay, the whole I never remember the fucking letters. It's like,
LGBT.
GTO, fucking muscle car,
ally of whoever the fuck they are. But anyway,
so you know what? If anyone fucking has a problem with anything, when you come after your fucking allies,
we support them no matter what they call themselves these days.
I haven't seen backpedaling like that than the guy at the circus on the unicycle, man.
Who's backpedaling?
I'm just kidding.
Backpedal.
I'm just kidding.
I say at least get the letters that form a fucking word so I can remember them.
LGBTQ.
No, but there's more. There's like 3 more letters that go in there.
Don't you think
I ignore those letters. I just want LGBTQ plus.
Now who's transphobic here, huh?
I said plus.
Don't you feel
plus? So you put like
T
3 or 4
trans,
fucking groups
dude.
of people into one word, plus.
That's what T stands for. Trans. LGBTQ. Yeah. The T is for trans.
Don't you think it's funny how terms change? Like 10 years ago, if a gay guy was, if you said he was queer, it was the ultimate derogatory term. You know what I mean? Queer was like really, or the same thing with like.
No, I don't know about. Was it really? I mean,
yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Yes,
when
it
you
was.
were queer.
Well, you know what
yes.
the problem was? There weren't a lot of adjectives. Because for me personally, to say if you said he's a homosexual, that seemed weird.
Homo.
It was almost like, or if you just said homo
or mo.
That was it. Well, mo. No, you're talking about. You're talking about the.
But yeah, you were mo.
Hey,
yeah.
What do you?
Hey, Three Stooges.
Hey, I'm
in
Mo.
the middle of the night. That's Mo.
Oh, he's a Mo.
You ever see that? You ever see that meme? This picture. There's a picture of Mo from the Three Stooges. It goes, in the middle of the night, I scream Mo.
Yes, I love that one. Well, here's the thing. I believe that gay people or LGBTQ reclaim the word queer like African Americans reclaim.
Right. That was my point. I mean, years ago, if you called somebody black, that was derogatory. If you called them Negro, that was derogatory.
It still is. Negro.
Is it?
I don't.
Not when you write about it, though.
No. Now it's either African American or black is what is preferred now.
That's why I just say it's safe. I don't say anything. Hey, bro, what's up? What's up, brah?
Yeah, and if you call somebody bro, they get offended by that too. You can't do that.
Yeah,
no, I'm not talking about black people. I'll say that to anybody.
No, I'm just saying. But if you say it to a black person, they're going to take offense.
Because actually, brother comes from when I was riding with the bikers and everything. We all call each other brother. Bro.
Right, but that's not how black people take it. That's. I understand.
How about that thing with Biden this week, where he was talking about
Biden's my bro.
No, he said something.
I'm riding with Biden.
He said something about this black guy, and he goes, "You see the muscles on that boy?"
Really? Did he say that?
Yeah, but
that's not good.
I mean, the way he said it, even the guy wasn't offended.
Yeah, but you can't do that
because he was drooling. Because he was drooling. He's like, you see the muscles on that boy.
Meanwhile,
his favorite movie is Mandingo. So let's just say that.
Put some butter on them muscles.
Like, man!
If you saw that debate last night,
I did not.
I wouldn't degrade myself enough.
That is one group of misfit people that you've ever heard. They all talked over each other. They all yelled at each other.
It's like a show.
Yeah.
And then they went, but this is so funny. At the end of the whole thing, they take these tour groups together, right? And they go, "Who do you think won the debate?" And they all said DeSantis.
I find that hard to
believe. Wait. But they all go, "But we would never vote for him."
Well, but you know what?
He had some good debate moments.
Most of them were going to vote for Trump.
But then they fact checked DeSantis, and everything he said was a lie. He goes, Florida's like the lowest state of crime ever. No one's ever had a lower state. And the guy said Jacksonville and Miami have some of the highest crime rates of anywhere in the country.
I saw an interview with Gavin Newsom. He's going to debate Gavin Newsom soon. And Newsom even said, here's you want to talk about crime and this and that. He goes, there's the higher crime rate in Florida than in California. So shut up. And a lot of red states have higher crime rates. He said that
California was the worst.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not. Well,
people who screw with California because they fucking jealous because California is the best. You got the ocean, the mountains. You could ski and swim in the ocean in the same day.
Great white sharks.
That's right. You know what?
So this is what I don't understand.
Would you rather have lesser white sharks? Would you have little fucking nothing white? I want a great white shark. I don't want a mediocre white shark.
Bridget white sharks.
Listen to this.
Oh my God.
This is what annoys me, and tell me if I'm wrong, right? Greg? I watched this debate, right? And whether you say whether you support Chris Christie or not, when he talks about changing something in the state of New Jersey, and then this guy goes, well, I did more than that in South Dakota. You're like, South Dakota, man, you got 15 people who live there and 3 fucking horses.
I know. If you take a branch off the fucking dirt road, you've done more for the people of fucking South Dakota.
I just said
so
always
they can get their horses through the road.
More people live in Cherry Hill than live in North Dakota.
Exactly.
Listen, I may be crazy, but I like Chris Christie. I wouldn't want to see him as president or nothing like that.
Oh, I do.
But I like Chris Christie. I think that he is. At least he has the ball. He's got more balls than all those fucking guys up there.
There are 3 reasons. 3 reasons I don't want Chris Christie as president. 1, he's very well spoken, and I think he can do good for the country. 2, I just think he is very presidential. And 3, I think he needs to be the next president, other than President Taft, to get jammed into a bathtub. That's what I think.
And you know what Larry Ambrose said? The reason why he's so angry at these debates is because somebody stole his Krispy Kremes from the dressing room.
But seriously, did you know that William Howard Taft is the only president to get stuck in the bathtub where they had to? Well, I think Chris Christie needs to break that record. I think I can say that because I'm a fact guy.
He had no chance of Chris Christie. Every time he says anything about Trump or makes any sense, the entire crowd boos.
Yeah, because they're all fucking idiots.
But you know what, though? If he just say somehow he won and he got to be president, I wouldn't be in fear of the end of democracy. He's not one of these nuts. I agree. He's not a fucking nut.
That's my point.
He seems like he, at least his policies may not be what I agree with, but at least he seems like a decent human being.
That's like George Bush, like George W. Bush. I felt the same way. I wasn't afraid of George W. Bush. I was afraid of Trump.
He was an idiot.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I didn't think he was going to end democracy or end the world, but I did worry about that with Trump, and still do.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't understand this. What do you tell your kids growing up? Listen, you can grow up to be anything in the world in this country. You can even go on to be president, even if you've been indicted 15 times.
91 times.
91 times.
4 times, but 91 charges.
You know what I mean? It's like, and how about the ruling in New York, man? That's the best.
Yeah.
He's done in New York.
I really like seeing him being disassembled. It's kind of fun seeing that happen.
Well, listen, everyone knows it. We're all from New York. And anyone from New York, and especially, I would say you guys even more than me, you're a little older. John's a little, whatever. Knows, older. Remembers the dealings of the Trump family. We all knew they were like mobsters. You know, it was like, you knew it, but you didn't care. The truth is that I used to cheer for Donald Trump. It's like, just like I used to cheer for fucking Gotti. You know what I mean? It was like New Yorkers love that somebody who's screwing the system, getting away with.
Well, there's a big similarity between him and Gotti. They're both Teflon Don.
I knew about Trump for 40 years, but I never knew about the whole mob connection. The one thing I noticed most about Trump that turned my stomach, and I mean this, going back to the 80s, everything he ever fucking said was a lie. And it's so clear from the first time I saw him till present day. And I don't understand how people can't see that.
But when he's not, if he was never been president, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Let him lie. I could care less. It's like, Well,
I agree.
It's when his opinion and his thinking started affecting the world.
Agreed. That's exactly the point. And, the whole thing is, you'll have people watching this going, oh, these guys are anti-Trumpers. Yes. And you know what? Any good American should be. because
Yes.
we're not doing a party line here. You notice that we're not saying the Republicans are bad. We're not saying that. We're just
No, dude.
just
I
Trump.
was a Republican. I voted for Reagan twice.
I voted for Reagan.
I voted for Bush, man. You know, it's like
I
was
voted
a
for Bush.
Republican, you know. So it's not
A gay
like
guy voted for Bush. Think about that. Anyway,
Hey. Well, I can't say I voted for cock, but so
I've never crossed party lines.
well, no, I voted
However, I would have voted for John Kasich.
I would have voted for him too. I loved John, honest man, sincere man. He seemed like a really good American and he was. It seemed like he had the ability to bring people together.
I almost voted for what's his face. Who's he died? McCain. I almost voted for McCain.
I love John McCain
until Sarah Palin came on board, and then he lost me.
Well, yeah, that was the mistake.
I dug his integrity. He had a lot of integrity, but John Case is the same thing. I would have voted for him if he got the nomination against back then. What I guess it would have been Hillary, right? Because it was
Kasich.
I would have voted for Kasich. To be honest with you, I would have.
Yeah, Kasich was good guy. Good guy.
So it's not like I'm anti-Republican or I'm anti-whatever. It's like, yes, we're anti-Trump. Who
was the guy that ran against Bush the second time? His wife?
Dukakis.
No, that's
because he had
W.
in his name.
No, the guy, the second name in 2004. In 2004, he looked like Herman Munster.
The guy with the bad arm.
No, that's Dole. He looked like Herman. No, that's Dole. The Herman Munster guy. His wife
from MASH. What's his name?
His wife owned ketchup. The Heinz.
Oh, Heinz. Yeah, that was Kerry. John Kerry.
John Kerry. I couldn't vote for him. I just couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't. I thought he was half asleep all the time.
Well, look, fucking Biden looks like he's half asleep half the time. But
he is asleep. But you know what?
And here's another thing too. Would you have voted for Biden if there was somebody fucking better? It's like it was like there was no alternative. We had him or Trump, and it was like I wasn't going to vote for fucking Trump.
No, exactly. If McCain was running against Biden, I would have went with McCain. Boom.
I love it. We started with a little kid getting chewed up by a fucking dog.
Bridget.
And now we're all
Bridget. Poor Bridget.
And here we are. This has been a really hysterically funny show.
Have you seen the pictures? Have you ever seen the picture of Bridget being all chewed up?
Oh, poor Bridget.
Don't show the
I can't show it.
I really hope Bridget grows up and falls in love. Wait, let me finish. I hope that Bridget grows up and falls in love with a very nice woman named Bernice. That way you can say Bridget loves Bernie. That's an old joke. Okay. That's an old fucking joke.
Well, let me ask you something. Does it blow you away that this guy can even be the nomination?
It doesn't seem right at all.
No, it doesn't, and it's ridiculous. Here's the proof now that there is something really, really broken in the system. The system is broken. There are fundamental cracks and flaws, and just see the only reason why nobody ever tested him out before. Like whoever thought that a president would try to pardon himself or have to even think about nobody ever expected a president that was a criminal.
I beg to differ, Mike.
Or to this degree.
When George H.W. Bush threw up in Japan, he said, "Pardon me." So there you go. That was one.
And then they threw a shoe at him. Hey, have a shoe. You throw up our sushi.
That was his son. That was his son.
Whatever.
He could dodge a fucking shoe, though. That's one of my favorite videos. It really is.
Hey, anyway, you can have your opinion of Bush Jr., but when 9/11 happened, you know what? I fucking stood behind him, and he was a fucking hero at that time when he stood up on that fire truck and he said, "I hear you," to the firemen and everyone, and he said, and he goes, and soon the whole world's going to hear you. It's like,
I loved it. I love that moment.
Even Giuliani at that time was Giuliani could have been president, but
that was still burning.
His brain melted and fucking came out of his urine.
The ground zero was still burning and smoldering, and he stood there for 2 hours and shook the hand of everybody there. That really.
However, if you watch the documentary on Giuliani, his entire life has been a media whore.
Yes.
Well, not Giuliani. I was talking about Bush, but
you realize that in retrospect when they show it and you go back on it. Yes. And I remember I liked him, but when he took on, I was pissed off, and a lot of people were pissed off when he took on the Hells Angels and when he took on the Mafia. I don't know how he survived. I don't know how he's still alive.
I don't understand that either. I don't
know how you fuck with the Mafia the way you did, and
you know what it is. And now it's karma.
Oh, so this brings us
just-
all to JFK.
No, I'm serious. I'm just serious. This just blows me the fuck away. This every time I see his poll numbers going up,
Yeah.
it just
Can I just tell you something, John? These are all bullshit. These are news cycles that have to be filled. These are bullshit. Who are they polling? You know what? The news wouldn't exist if they didn't have these. Every news agency right now has such a fucking hard on for all of this stuff. They run it 20. It's all bullshit.
Well,
I can't believe if Trump is the nominee and he runs, and Biden's running against him. I predict that fucking Trump is going to lose he lost by 7 million the last time. He's going to lose by like 15 or 20 million.
But it doesn't matter that he lost. The bullshit will continue.
Yeah, because it makes money. The bullshit makes money, not only for Trump and them, it makes money for the other side too. You know, a lot of people are making these fucking politics.
Well, I was watching Scripps News because I refused to watch CNN or Fox. And they had a poll that I don't remember where the poll was from. And it said right now,
Poland, from Poland.
No, exactly. But there was a head-to-head, and it said that Biden leads Trump 51-44. And I'm like, that should be like 73-27.
Right.
83-17.
That's why you can't trust these polls. They're bullshit. Who are they talking? You know, we took a poll. I asked 3 guys outside the studio that were walking by that had Trump hats on. Who are you voting for? Hey, Donald Trump. Well, we took a poll, and fucking 90% said they're voting for Trump.
Talk about a conspiracy theory. All of the local news outlets are controlled by a very small fraction, like 1 or 2%. And you know what the 1 or 2% want. And I do believe that they're posting this stuff because they want the guy in office who's going to kiss their ass and give them tax breaks, and that's Trump.
Hey, I have my own conspiracy theory on a whole different thing. It's like we talk about conspiracy. I believe when you see like LA and New York, all these places, when you see a serious traffic jam, I believe it's the oil companies, the gas companies. They cause accidents on purpose so that you'll sit in traffic and burn more gas. How's that for a conspiracy?
Actually, I have a hybrid. I burn less gas, so it's not working for me.
You're gonna get shot. They're gonna fucking hybrid, man. Screw this motherfucker.
DeSantis actually came out last night and said if he's president, the first thing he will do is go to Detroit, end this thing about electric cars, and
like that could fucking happen. Yeah, I'm the president. I'm gonna reverse this whole. First of all, it's a business. So I thought Republicans were big on staying out of the business of business. So here you are saying now you're going to fucking get involved in business and please, you're so full of shit. Like you could have any effect on it anyway. Please.
There are problems with electric cars. You know that, right? I'll use Texas as an example. If we got rid of all gas driven cars tomorrow, and let's put it in Texas, and it's all electric cars, do you think that grid is going to be able to support charging all those cars? And where's all the energy coming to charge those cars?
But meanwhile, Texas, and I know for a fact, is the most green-friendly state for electric cars there is.
Yeah,
like when you're in Austin, you know how like in New York there'd be parking meters.
Yeah.
In Austin, they have those all over, but they're charging stations.
You know why? You've been to Texas? You ever been to Texas, Craig?
No, I have not.
I've driven through Texas a few times. You can drive for 4 fucking days and still be in Texas. Right. You know, it's huge open spans of fucking.
And when
nothing.
you leave Austin, you got to set your watch back 40 years.
Yeah. It's like fucking being a Jew in the desert. You're just fucking lost in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Oh, and so they need that shit. But there are problems, but it's progress. Nothing is perfect overnight. You know, it's like, where's the electricity? So they've got to work on these issues as they go. Nothing's just going to
right now, the United States power grid can't handle that much. And the thing is, if it's a slow progression, fine. But if you just snap your fingers, go, okay, we're electric now.
Gotta go solar. I think it's so nuts that people,
Well, John, if the windmills,
did you hear Trump about the windmills?
So much cancer, we'd fucking go windmills, man.
Well, let me tell you something.
Trump said
I'm going to put a windmill on my
whales.
ass so that every time I fart, I make some energy.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. Over the summer in Florida, because we don't have heat, our air conditioning is our high season, and we had an exceptionally hot summer this year. Last year, my electric bill for a couple of months in the summer was close to $300. Okay,
I laugh
And
at $300. I
what?
laugh. Hold on. I laugh at $300 electric bill.
We scoffed. We
I
scoffed
laugh.
at you.
That's fucking half. That's like half of an electric bill. I laugh at it.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
John.
it's
If I
not.
use
When
my
I,
air
when I had a roommate, I was
If
doing
I use-
350 in my house.
Okay.
It's an apartment.
listen,
$300 is normal electric bill for this time of year for me, and that's
Yeah.
running a pool, jacuzzi, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Okay. And now this year it went up 20%, so it would be $360. You know what my electric bill was this summer?
Because you went solar, it was what?
$27.25.
yeah,
Is
but
it-
you still have payments for your solar panels. See, I thought about getting solar panels. The problem is, and I live in the desert, so I
Okay, so
probably
my
would have a great.
payment on my payment on my solar,
Yeah,
right, is $170 a month.
right.
So
Plus
if I
20
take the
cents, so that's not bad.
$27 and I add it, I'm still $160 less a month.
That's true.
Yeah, but what do you got? 2 panels?
No, I got 40. I got.
But then in
40.
the- but then in the
I got a big
winter-
house, man. I
in
got
the
a
winter, you're gonna
4-bedroom
pay
I got a
more, right?
4-bedroom fucking house. I got a 4-bedroom house with a swimming pool and fucking, whatever. I got
in
a,
the.
oh,
Sorry.
there you go. That's professional. That's well, I'm doing my all important fucking job here, and I'm whatever. Hold on, guys. That's my.
He's
my
taking the
bookie.
call. He's actually taking the call.
He's taking the call. It's my bookie. Hold on, I got it.
Hello.
Oh, it's his doctor.
Uh-oh. Dr.
Johnny,
Vinny Boombox.
John, your prostate is the size of 2 grapefruits kissing.
Hello.
That kind of excited me, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. John Ferrantino's about to find
I'm
out.
not taking the call. Sorry, I thought I'd shut my ringer off.
Why the hell are you taking the call for?
My doctor.
I'm not taking the call. I'm putting the phone. I wanted to make sure there was nobody there as he was talking about my prostate.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
the size
so
of two balloons kissing.
No.
What was that? Okay, never
well,
mind.
well, see, I don't know, but I know that my maybe you're right. All I know is that if I use my air conditioner, which I don't use because up here is very low humidity. I have what they call a swamp cooler, which is
Right. Which is like ice
forgot
and a fan.
it's just water goes on these pads and then the fan blows it in. It keeps my whole house pretty cool, even when it's 100 degrees outside. But if I use my air conditioner, and I know my neighbors do, their electric bill's $800-900 a month.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, because you got to leave it.
It's
running.
California, man.
It's California, and plus I live, with no humidity, but I live in the friggin' desert.
John, what's your regular gas per gallon cost? What is it? What's the last price you saw
Oh God.
in Florida?
340.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours is $5.29.
But I was just in
I
Vegas
just filled up the
last
other day. I
weekend.
paid $6.09 for a fucking gallon of gas. I felt like I was in the deli. Give me a half a gallon.
I'll take some pastrami to go too.
I gladly pay you Tuesday for some gasoline today.
Yeah, you don't live in it's Florida. People pay in mud.
Yeah,
You
people
know what?
pay to get
you know
out of
what's
Florida.
really expensive in Florida is water.
Water.
Water, but
When
it
I
rains
got-
every
yeah.
day. Why would water be expensive?
Well, I don't know, but all I
They have
know
no
is
water table. People
when I
keep
put my-
pissing in it.
I sound like such a yuppie. When I put my pool in,
when I put
I
my
had to
pool
put in 5,000 square feet of sod.
I have a pool too.
And they
John.
told me
Craig,
I
you have
had
a pool.
they told me I had to water it every day for 30 days for a half hour per zone.
Right.
I got my water bill. It was $660.
What the fuck?
In New York, my water bill would be like $43 for 3 months. It's
Wait.
never under 150.
Yeah, that's a lot for water. And I mean, I live in a desert, and I don't think I pay that much for water.
I have a friend who works with the Florida Department of Water too. I should ask him.
Well, because we live on an island, man. So living on
Oh
the island,
man, you live on an island, do you?
Surrounded by water and yet no water.
I know, and we got to have it piped in. from
I
the
actually like where
mainland.
John lives. I like where you live, man. You live 5 minutes from the fucking beach, man. John throws his surfboard on the roof of the car, and fucking 5 minutes he's.
My new surfboard, I don't have to throw it on the roof. I can throw it inside the car. I'm
Oh,
so
your new
happy.
one. It's got a small one.
Yeah,
So
he
is
also
that one of the-
gets rocket parts
Wait,
flying
now,
in his backyard
Is that
too.
is that actually a surfboard or is it a boogie? One of those
surfboard.
little.
Surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a boogie board is
Surfboard.
racist. Sorry, that's racist.
Boogie board is what? It's nobody want to call it a snot board. It's not a boogie. It's a
Put
snot
some
board.
boogie in your board.
Boogie. So have you been surfing lately, or
I'm still having trouble getting up since the hip surgery. It's
well,
really
Viagra,
depressing.
man? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
on the
really.
surfboard. Okay.
Well, John also gets rocket parts in his backyard when they launch, so that's
I
cool.
could probably.
That is
I'm
pretty
far
cool.
enough
Though. I'll
from
tell you
where
what,
I don't get the
I'd love to
acid
come to your place when they're going to launch and see a launch, man. I would love that.
Yeah, but go for a Falcon Heavy or go for the Orion. That's going to be huge.
The Falcon
Next year,
Heavy is
next
so
year they're
loud.
shooting off the Orion. It's going to be like the equivalent of the Saturn V,
Wow.
only stronger. It's going to launch them because they're going to the moon. That's going to be huge.
The moon. There's one of our controversies. Come on, did man ever land? Give me. I that's one of the ridiculous ones. People saying that we never actually landed on the moon.
An Indian satellite around the moon 2 weeks ago took pictures of the landing sites, and you could see the descent stage of all the lunar modules. So what is that?
The whole conspiracy theory is based on the fact that the flag was waving, right?
It's a frame.
When they talked to John Glenn, he said
John Glenn. John Glenn was on the moon.
Why was John Glenn on the moon? Was Joni there
Working at
too?
Good Times, man.
I said
Joni was on the moon.
John Glenn, the editor of Good Times
And
magazine.
when he took out, he said when he hung the flag, he said when he took it out,
Right.
it was all crumbled in this thing. And when he put it on there, that's the way it hung. He said, I never gave it another thought.
It was a spring-loaded frame.
Right.
To make it look like it was waving.
Right.
Otherwise, it would just hang down.
Right.
Well, you know what it is? There's just a lot of fucking people, and in some ways, I can't blame some people. It's like
I can.
The government has lied to people for so long. Like Area 51 didn't exist until what, a couple of years ago, when they finally had to admit, okay,
does it really exist?
Guys,
I'm serious.
There's
I
Area
know it.
There's
no,
Area
I know
51
that
and Area
exists.
53. You know,
No,
so
I know that it exists, but is that really true that there was supposed to be a spacecraft that crashed there?
Well,
that we don't know, but it was a secret base that they denied was a base forever.
I can't talk about Area 51, but I was driving through Arizona and I stopped at Area 50, had a wonderful orange Julius and a really nice Denny's.
Well, then there must be aliens. If there was a good Denny's, then there's got to be alien influence there.
That's a Tom Drake joke. It's a great joke. He goes, when I go to Denny's, the first thing I do when the waitress comes over the table, I stand up and I hug her because it's going to be the last time I see her. Yeah, it's like you say, the government's denied like UFOs or unidentified flying objects for years. Now all of a sudden, yeah, okay, it's all right. Yeah, no, we kind of recognize them now
because they don't trust the American people. They think people are going to panic. And maybe they would, but the truth is if they were a little forthcoming, there wouldn't be so many conspiracy theories. Once you're a liar, and the government is marked a liar, and that's part of the problem today.
Did you guys see the Mexican news conference where they showed the pictures of the aliens they found?
Yeah,
where do
they
you
look
find
like they look like the bottom side of an egg carton.
They found mummified aliens. And when they did the DNA, that said they were little kids,
and one had eggs in them.
That was in Tijuana. That was a couple of guys that got fucking drunk, picked up some hookers in Tijuana.
Dude, they had a congressional hearing in Mexico.
When you're in Tijuana,
what is a congressional fucking meeting in Mexico? That's like four guys getting together smoking a couple of joints.
When you're in Tijuana, I just got to tell you, I had my picture taken once with a zebra that was a donkey that they spray painted stripes on.
That's it. And it was banging a chick, right? Come on, that's the big thing. That's the big draw.
No, I mean seriously, they had a white donkey that they sprayed stripes on it, right? And it was get your picture taken with the donkey. I had my picture taken. The guy developed the picture in a bucket under a blanket.
Yeah. So here you're gonna believe
I
some
swear to God,
alien
I'll show you the
story from
picture.
Mexico where they can't even get a real zebra. I'm gonna fucking trust them about.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Aliens.
That sounds like an episode out of the old East Side Comedy Kids. Remember those guys? It sounds like
the Dead End Kids, right?
The Dead End Kids.
Or the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
Let's do a show and we'll make a donkey.
Here are the Floridores.
Floridori.
We want the Floridori.
When I went to BattleBots the other day, there was a kid sitting in front of me that had the alfalfa haircut. Exactly.
People don't know that. John went to go see live BattleBots, like from the show BattleBots.
Was that fun?
Oh my God. It was the best thing I ever saw in Vegas. My daughter's like,
Really?
I've never seen you
That's
so
kind of
excited.
sad, though. How many times you been to Vegas? If that's the best thing you ever saw in Vegas,
I'm telling
I
you.
don't know.
I'm a big fan, and it was amazing. It was
I mean,
really amazing. Even my daughter, who went because she wanted to do something nice for me and was like, oh, this is going to be the worst. She goes, it was really good.
No, it's great. But I mean, if that's the best thing you've ever, I mean, come on, I've seen a donkey painted up like a zebra do some pretty good things in Vegas.
Did
Not
you?
in Vegas, it makes
No, wasn't that a Yeah. Didn't you ever see the Big Bang Theory episode where they actually they make a robot for the BattleBot? It's hilarious.
I think
No,
I
I
did.
never
see that.
watched that show ever in my life.
It's a good show.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it. They do a lot of Star Trek, Star Wars, and Dungeons and Dragon references that you wouldn't get.
John's an
Hey.
anti-Star Wars guy.
No, I'm not anti-Star Wars. It's
Science
just like,
fiction.
I just don't find it like as a religion.
John grew up in the 50s. Science
That's a
fiction to him is
religion.
Captain Video. Captain Video.
I don't
Official
find-
space
yeah, I
helmet
don't
on,
find,
Captain
you know,
Video.
Captain Video.
To me, Star Wars isn't a religion.
It is not a religion.
No, we didn't. Who said I
Star
don't take
Trek.
that
I've never
serious.
seen a Star Trek in my life.
Star Trek is great, but it's not a
Did you
religion
see?
either.
Did you see Star Wars in the movie theater when it
Yeah.
first came out?
It's
Of
fun.
course.
Fun
How
movie.
could you not be fucking blown away? There was nothing like
was great.
like when that
Yeah,
ship came
All
over.
right,
to-
but it's a
you're like,
movie and it was
"Oh,
done, and I probably saw the second one, and who cares?
Wow.
Well, now
the first time you
everything
got
after the
laid,
second
did you
one
go, "Hey,
sucks,
that was
so-
fun"? Okay, but whatever.
No, John's right. Everything after the second movie totally sucks. They do.
Yeah.
They all suck after that.
I
All
saw a Star Wars movie. I mean,
No, the-
a Star Trek movie that I thought was really good once.
with the
One of
whales.
The first ones.
With the whales.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know. The
voyage
first
home.
one, I guess.
It's always the whales.
The voyage
whales.
home, where they had to go
Always the
save
whales.
the planet and get a whale. Yeah,
I don't know about
they
that.
got cook fudgy puss. What was
Yeah,
the what was
hey,
talk
Fudgy
about
the
it?
whale.
Fudgy the whale. Hey,
Captain
Tuesday
Kirk
is
is a
Wednesday
whale.
and
Please stay away from the blowhole.
Thursday is Friday. And
You ever see
fucking
that
Tuesday is
Seinfeld where
Monday.
Kramer hits the golf ball into the ocean and kills the whale?
Yeah, the blowhole. Yeah.
Well, you were saying something, wasn't it recently? Now, wasn't it windmills in the ocean that are killing whales? Who the fuck?
Well, the Trump said that the windmills they have in the ocean, which generate power, are beaching whales. He said whales are beaching all over the place.
He is a beached whale.
They're all over the place. I'm like, what? One whale beaches himself, and now it's the
there's actually
windmill
quite a
farm.
My
There's
favorite
actually
thing
quite a
about
few of
Trump
them.
is fucking every time he talks, he goes, a lot of people tell me they'll say this, and it's like such a fucking
You're
nobody
not
ever
sniffing.
said this to
You
you.
got to
Nobody,
sniff.
Whenever he says, I've been told by smart people, great
Yeah.
people have told me, it's a lie.
of course, it's nobody fucking.
Many
said nothing
people
to
are
you.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many people are saying. Many people are saying that you should be in jail, is what you should be saying.
Well, and you know what?
I was doing my old commentary last night, making Chris laugh when Sandy goes, "The first day that I'm elected," I'm going, "Yeah, you don't have to worry about that."
Anyway.
DeSantis is. They did all these polls on him, and people just find him creepy.
DeSantis,
Yeah.
he's like, it's like, just like, man, I think he's vacant behind the eyes. I think there's like something in his ear and they whisper and he's just so bland. He's like a mayonnaise sandwich.
And you know who's really terrible is Pence. You
Oh,
almost feel sorry
fuck.
for him. You almost
do
feel
feel-
sorry for him.
Yeah. He's just like that,
How many people would vote for Pence? This is the guy who was the vice president. Not one person raised their hands.
Yeah, because look who he was the vice president for. You know what I mean? If he wasn't the vice president for a fucking
Meanwhile, the
legitimately-
president wanted him to be hung.
I know, and he won't
Let's
even
start with that.
Well, see,
I mean-
you know what? He would get a lot more votes and a lot more support if he had a fucking sack. If he came out and he said,
Yes.
you know what, this motherfucker tried to have me fucking fuck him, and
But he should have done that. He should have done that on January 7th, and he didn't.
But you know what? He did
He
make
has
a
no
straw.
balls.
After January 2nd, he came out and said, I prayed for him.
Oh,
Me and
yeah.
mother prayed for him.
I
Me
prayed,
and
I
mother.
prayed, I pray he
Anyone
get
who
fucking
calls
run over
his
by a
wife-
bus.
Anyone who calls his wife mother, I don't want running the country.
No, I don't want to for president either.
I have to ask mommy if I can go to the UN meeting.
Yeah. All right. Right. Are you banging mommy?
It's
Mommy wants me to
terrible.
press the red button.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. It's what the hell? Whoever, I tell my kids this, being an old wise man. I tell my kids this, that, and you guys are young enough or old enough to probably remember. When I was growing up, during the election, probably for 6 months before, not much more than that,
This is for Teddy
Republicans and
Roosevelt.
Democrats hated each other, And it was all about who's going to get in. And then whether a Republican got in or a
Well,
Democrat got in.
who was your first president you remember when you were a little kid? Who was the president?
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower. Okay.
Mine was Kennedy.
And who was
And
the
I
first one you
remember
voted?
Kennedy.
Who's the first one you voted for?
Reagan.
What,
Me too, Reagan.
What would it be in 78? Who ran in 78?
You don't
Oh wait,
remember the
that's right.
first
78. I
president you
voted. I voted for Ford.
Oh yeah, voted. Well,
I voted for no, that's 76.
Who ran in
Sorry, no.
78? I
you know
don't
what?
it was
Then
80.
fucking
It was 80. I voted for.
as
I voted for
impossible
Reagan.
as impossible as it sounds. I just lost even more respect for you, Craig. You voted for Ford.
No, I voted for Reagan in 80.
Now,
hated
who was the
Reagan.
first president? John, you don't remember who the first president you voted for
No,
was?
I don't. Come on, man. It's a long time ago.
It was probably
when you were
Nixon.
18.
It was probably Nixon or
Had to be. It would be 1972. Did you vote for McGovern?
you must have voted for McGovern because
Most hippies voted for
It would be
McGovern.
70. It would be. Oh, no. I would have been.
You're 18.
Oh, yeah. No, I would have been 62. In 68, I would have voted.
in
No, you-
68.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So who was running
Humphrey.
in 68?
Humphrey.
Hubert Humphreys.
Humphrey or
How can you-
Nixon?
That was
How can
Nixon.
you vote for a guy named fucking Hubert Humphreys?
Nixon, 1968, President Johnson took over for Kennedy.
In 64, 63.
And then didn't run again.
Then he
said he
beat
wouldn't take-
Goldwater in 64, and then he decided not to run again. And and then Robert Kennedy, who was a favorite, got shot. Humphrey became the Democratic nominee
against
against Nixon.
So you would have voted for Humphreys.
Yeah, I voted for Hubert Humphreys for my first presidential.
From the great state of Minnesota.
I have no idea.
Wow, my mic just got really loud on this side.
It really
No,
did.
My
Wow.
life, that part of my life is a long time ago. It was a blur.
Smoking a lot of weed.
I'll
back
tell you the
then,
worst.
man.
I know the worst candidate I ever voted for.
Mm.
Who?
Dukakis.
Dukaki.
Because he had the
Duka-
name.
Dukakis.
Hold on. Hold
I'm
on.
gay.
gotta
I
go
thought
make a
Dukakis meant two
Dukaki.
penises, so I voted for him.
Oh,
That's
man.
what Otto and George.
Those
I
cocky.
voted for him because he had cock in his name.
You want the cock?
Yeah. John was
Yeah.
smoking a lot of weed. He was past the Dutchie on the left hand side.
I do remember seeing President Nixon come up Wanto Avenue, and I went to see him in in an open car,
Right.
and I guess that would have been.
What,
68.
what did your gun jam?
Open car. I
No.
got a Nixon and Kennedy kind of
I
feeling.
think it was kind of
Our-
for Nixon.
My
He was-
fellow Americans, let
Oh,
me make
yeah.
something perfectly clear.
You have to know that your president is not a
Even
crook,
Nixon
and I
knew that.
am
Even
not a crook.
Nixon knew he was insane, but in over his head and resigned.
How about
Yeah,
those
he was
tapes,
fun.
though? Here,
Well,
Nixon
people
wasn't
in his
like
own party were telling him to resign.
No, he is-
Not like the pussies we have on now. I'm sorry.
No, and if you listen to the tapes and all that stuff, it's like Nixon and Trump have something in common. They talk about themselves in the third fucking person. Nixon always said, Nixon, you can't, but nobody would, Nixon
I never
always
heard
had it
that, but-
hard. And well, I got
Yeah,
that
he
from the
did.
movie.
He
I
talked
got it
about
from
it.
the
The thing
movie
is,
Nixon.
There are a lot of Republicans in Congress who oppose Trump, but you know why they don't say anything? Because if they do, they lose votes. That's
But
total
that's
bullshit.
That's a lack of integrity. I'd
I
rather
know.
fucking have my soul intact than fucking, I'd rather lose my job as a fucking representative because these guys, what you can't make it on the outside world. That's all you got is fucking stealing money in Congress, you piece of shit.
I read this article about how Don Jr. and that what's her name, Guilford, the loudmouth.
Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yeah.
Who's the
Guilfoyle.
fucking who used
Yeah,
to go with
is-
Gavin Newsom?
Right.
Oh,
but
really?
anyway,
Yeah.
they were saying how in this article that was in
You got
they're
downgraded.
engaged. They're engaged. And they were saying that in this article, every time they referred to Don Jr., they call them the evil spawn. Hey, how about we didn't talk about Lauren Boebert getting felt up in the theater while she was vaping? With
Come
her
on,
hand
tell
on
me
her
that didn't turn
boyfriend's
you on,
crotch.
man.
We should close. We should close on this. We have like 2 minutes.
I want to go to a play with her, man. I want to go see Beetlejuice.
Do you see the meme? It's her getting felt up, and there's a picture of Pee Wee sitting right in front of Pee Wee Herman sitting in front of him, making a face at the camera. That's hilarious. Like,
look,
I got
Well, it
canceled for
came
this
out
shit.
today that it came out again yesterday that she was arrested or picked up 4 times for being
an escort.
an escort.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard. I
An
don't know if it's true or not, but
an unlicensed escort.
I'm sorry, but fucking, she may be dumber than a box of rocks, but I'd tap that shit.
It's good, Mike. It's good.
I hope
Mike.
my wife never.
I was just staring at you like I don't believe you're serious about that.
Hey, listen, it fucking whatever. It's like you know what?
But-
Everyone has
but
their
you know
price.
what-
And for some people, it's money. For me, it's a little lower.
You know what I think is really fucked up though, and nobody's talking about this.
Two caucuses.
George Santos is still in office.
Yeah,
I know.
and
And
he's also
they asked him to resign. He went no.
And they went,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
and they moved on.
yeah, and they got the nerve to fucking want other people to resign for way lesser stuff.
Meanwhile, they're saying today is the first hearing about the impeachment against Biden.
Yeah,
They have 3 witnesses.
Thanks
that
for
are
wasting our
coming in.
fucking time with this shit.
They have 3 witnesses are coming in, and all 3 witnesses don't have any firsthand information. It's all hearsay.
It's not going to go anywhere, but they
And-
should be working on not shutting down the government is what they should
Right.
be.
And they're saying that the only reason why they're doing this now, it came out last night, is that Trump asked them to do this because they impeached him, so
John.
he wants to impeach back.
That's how much power that, and you know
Not-
what? Trump is also in favor. Trump is also in favor of, and he's goading people to hold out and shut down the government, so that all the people who are levying charges against him won't be able to. They won't be able to do that anymore because they're not going to be funded.
Do not
He thinks that's gonna
underestimate
stop
the,
the
power
charges.
of the dark side
I
of
know.
the
It's not going to
force.
stop shit.
On a happy note, I babysat for my grandson yesterday.
Ah,
And
Nowhere.
he said to me, wait, he said to me,
your grandson is well.
he
I
said,
mean,
Pop, take me to Lowe's.
How
I
is
go,
little?
why? So I took him to Lowe's because he wanted to play on all those little lawnmower tractors.
Yeah.
And he grabbed me by the hand and said, Pop, come here. And brought me inside. And they have this 10 or 12 foot skeleton that lights up with these hands that goes, ah. And he
Right,
goes, this is some, it just made me die. He goes, Pop, that's a big skooky guy. It's a big skooky guy. He
That's
goes,
really cute. How is little Bridget?
He goes, don't worry, he's not real.
he's not
Come on. The Suki guy.
That's
On
cute,
that
though.
note, John, the time is on the wall. It's time to
There
go.
we go. Time to go.
That's-
See? We
talking
talked
about
about
green-
conspiracy. We talked about conspiracies. Once again, didn't get to one of them.
We got to go in depth on one of these soon.
I know. Really. They're like
We're always
we
worried
all
about
have,
what we're
we all
gonna
have
talk
fucking
about.
attention deficit disorder. I think.
You actually brought up
BBC.
something during the show where you went, well, as long as we're talking about conspiracies, I went, are we?
Are we? No, not really.
All right. Well, let's have a round of applause for
Applause.
us. For us.
For us,
My name is John Ferrantino, and we got Craig Mitchell.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to
bye.
meet everybody.
Grief.
we don't
Our
really
show
exist.
drops live on the podcast playground on Fridays at 10 a.m. and then runs all week, and it's wherever you get your podcast.
Spotify and Apple Podcast,
all over
we're
the thing.
everywhere where your sister wants to be. Hey,
And if you don't know any of this, how are you listening to us now?
And the other thing is, Audible is the only one that's kind of hard because you got to click on the little dots to see who's on the show.
Yeah, and also Google podcasts are going away, but they're changing it to something else. So,
Oh, all right. But I like Apple Podcasts.
Me
That's my
too.
preference.
and I love the podcast playground.
Podcast Playground is great.
Yeah.
Podcast Playground, hooray!
And with that,
You guys sound just like it. Maybe get a job. And yeah, we didn't even get to talk about me flying on the private jet to go see.
You know what
Barry
we got to
Manilow.
talk about? We got to talk about learning how to end the show.
yeah, really, because we just
Yeah.
talked for 40 minutes when we say it's time to end the show. So,
All right.
end the show.
So the show is over. From the bronze shoes on.
He's showing pictures of bronze shoes that you can't see because this is
So
audio.
we go back to Kansas. All right, well, we'll see you next week. Same time, same
All right.
bat station.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.